This video is brought to you in collaboration with GELID Solutions. This is not a sponsored video. They only provide me with some of the materials that I needed for this video, like the thermal pads and thermal paste. GELID Solution has been around since 2008. They design and manufactures a high-quality CPU and VGA coolers, PC fans and accessories, and other computer equipment. Check their website www.gelidsolutions.com if you're interested to buy one of their products. In this video, it will show you step by step on how to repaste, how to change the pads and the thickness of the thermal pads, how to replace and clean the cooling fans at heatsink. What's up everyone, it's Take the Screw Out. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell so that if there is a new video coming out, you'll be notified. There's a link in the description down below for the tools and equipment I've used in this video, which is available to purchase in Amazon.com in United States and Amazon.co.uk in United Kingdom if you're interested to get one. Let's begin the tutorial. This GPU is not been opened before, so as you can see, the screw seal at the back is still intact. So that means all the thermal pads and thermal paste inside is from the factory, still stuck. So there's two options. First option is if you want to change the fans or just remove the front shroud and the fans, all you're going to do is remove 7 screw here at the back. So before we do that, the screwdriver I'm going to use is the Wow Stick screwdriver, which is driven by battery, electric screwdriver. And I use the screw bits, which is Phillips screw VH1. So there's only one screw bit that I'm going to use on this video, the VH1. So the first option is if you want to remove just the fans and the front shroud, all you're going to do is unscrew 7 screw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 2 on the bracket, 5, 6, and 7. These 4 other screw here, don't touch that one because that is the one who holds the bracket to the PCB. So only these 2 that you're going to unscrew, okay? And then the second option is if you want to change the thermal pads, change the thermal paste, and clean overall the whole graphics card, all you're going to do is unscrew 13 screw. So they are all here at the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then the other 2 here, 12 and 13. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do the first option to remove the fan and the front shroud. And by the way, this is a different kind of fans compared to the other graphics cards, which has a screw here in the front, but this one doesn't have any screw. So if you need to remove the fan, you need to take off the whole front shroud. So the first thing we're gonna do is to unscrew these 7 screw. So that's 5, and then the other 2 here. So by the way, the screw, the 2 screw here in the bracket and the 5 screw that I took off from here at the back is not identical. The 5 screw here is longer compared to the 2 screw here at the side of the bracket. So this is what does it look like. This is from the 5 screw that here at the back and the 2 screw here at the side of the bracket. So it's a bit shorter. So now the 7 screw has been removed, so you can lift up the backplate. And the backplate has a thick thermal pads on it. So it looks like a 3mm And then now the first thing to do before you remove the front shroud and the fan, you have to disconnect the wire of the fan here, the connection of the wire here on this other end. So there's two connections here that you're going to disconnect. Okay, to safely disconnect the fan connector, I recommend to use this kind of pliers. So if you're interested to buy one of these, just check in the description down below on this video. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect first. I'm gonna use the tweezer as well. So all the tools and equipment that I've used in this video, check in the description down below for the link in Amazon in United Kingdom and United States. So to disconnect these two fan connector, be careful because the kind of connector is a bit different compared to the other common GPU. This one, it has a latch here at the back. No, I mean at the top. So what you're gonna do is you need to press that latch at the top downwards, and then before you pull it out. So I'll show you. You have to use either a tweezer or a plier like this. So but this time I'm gonna use the tweezer because it's more easier for me. So if you, I don't know if you can see the latch here, this latch here at the top, I have to press that one downwards before I pull this connector. So press that latch at the top and then pull the, yeah, something like that. Also, this is what it look like. It's a different kind of connector they use for this GPU. So you need to press this one here because there's the other end will lock in place on the plastic on the here on the connector. So you need to press that one like that before you pull it out. So same on the other connector as well. The other connector is quite longer, but they have, I don't know if there's an LED on this one. Let me check. So now the fan connector is detached, so you have to lift up the front shroud. So this is the fan. So the only way that you can remove the fan is you can't remove it from the front, so only here underneath at the back. So you need to remove the front shroud if you want to replace the fan. So you have to remove the fan, you have to unscrew 8 screws, 2, 2, and 2, and this is the fan number. So hang on, the forward end, this one here, the one with the logo dual, so that is the fan here. So I'll show you. That's the fan model number. I hope you could read it. The other fan here, which is close to the bracket side, so it's gonna be like this. So this one here, the second fan, this is the model number. Okay, so I will not gonna remove the fan because it's very easy, you can see it from here. So how to remove the fan? So this, I will just clean this one brush and blow with the air blower later on. So the front shroud has been removed. So this logo here, this ASUS logo, it will lit up because I can see a wire here. It's connected here. There's one wire here, and also, yeah, that's the one. So this smaller connector here, this is for the LED, for the light, and the big connector is for the two fans. So the big connector is for the two fans. They are linked together here. I can see, yeah, two fans are linked together in one connector, so it will come out here. This big one is for the fan, and the small connector is for the lights LED that goes here. I cannot see any other lights. I think this is the only lights will lit up. I'm not sure if that is an RGB. I don't think there's an RGB. Okay, so that's the first option. If you want to change the thermal pads and the thermal paste, so you have to do the first option. You remove the 7 screw plus this 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's gonna be 13 screw in total if you want to repaste, change the thermal pads, and clean overall the heatsink. You can still clean the heatsink and the fan without removing these 6 screw. So if you just want to clean the fans and the heatsink, you can just remove that 7 screw that we've just done, and you can brush and blow the air blower of this fins, and then you can brush the back area of the fan, and then you're good to go. But if you want to change the thermal pads, so that's the second option that we're gonna do now. So the same screw bits, VH1. So I'm gonna carry on removing this. So this screw is connected with the heatsink. So make sure you're not gonna mix up all the screw, because they have a different sizes. So this screw is different as well. So this screw is different form. It's a special screw, so don't mix it up. And then by the way, before you do your graphics card, make sure you have this rubber protector. So I've used this one. This is from my other GPU, so XFX is not ASUS. It's very important. Don't leave it uncovered, because that is very delicate area. If you scratch that one, potentially it could make error of your graphics card, so make sure you protect that area. Okay, so we have to carry on. So we're gonna break the seal. So all the thermal pads and thermal paste that you're going to see in this graphics card is from the factory, stock from the factory, so still the original one. The best thing to do is you have to remember the seal of which area. You can this is identical anyway. You can just rotate this one anyway. There's no problem, but I prefer to, right, everything's been removed except for the 4 screw here for the bracket, which is you don't need to touch that one, because that is only holds the bracket to the PCB, so you don't need that one. So now all the screw has been removed. Okay, so you carefully detach this too, so always be careful. Right, okay, so here it is. So they're using very thick thermal pads for the VRAM. This is the VRAM here, this area. So this area here and this 3, they have 6 in total. That's the VRAM. So it's not much thermal pads. The thermal pads on this one is still very, very good. Okay, so to measure the thickness of the thermal pads, I'm using a vernier caliper, which is digital, is driven by a battery. So if you're interested to buy one of these in Amazon, just check the link down below in the description. Okay, so I have to turn on, make sure it's 0. So you have to press the 0. So back to 0. So this is the thermopads for the VRAM. It's quite thick. It's 2.5. It's so thick. Right, I'll show you. This is the actual, so thick. So the thickness is 2.5. That's 2.5. See? It's 2.5 millimeter. So this one is 2.5, and this one is also the VRAM, which is identical, same 2.5. 2.5. But the VRM, hang on. So this area here is the only one who covered with the thermopads. So this area here. So this is the VRMs. So the thickness of this one is quite thin. So this one is 2.5, and this one is about, it's quite thin. It's 1 millimeter. So I'll show you. So 1 millimeter on this one. It's 1. So the VRMs is 1 millimeter. This one here. This choke here doesn't have any pads. It just goes direct to the sink in this area here. So this one, this plates here, goes to this chips here, and also this very small one. So 2.5 and 1 millimeter. Okay, so it's time to clean the residue. To clean the residue, I always use a 99.9% of isopropyl alcohol. Don't use the 70%. Always use the 99.9%. So link in the description below if you're interested to get one. And also just to use a microfiber cloth and any tissue paper to clean all this stuff here, residue. Okay, so I'm going to use the isopropyl alcohol. It's nice and quick, it melts, it's very easy. So I recommend to use a microfiber cloth or anything which is cotton, because it could clean the dirt and the residue very quickly. It absorbs. So you can buy a microfiber cloth in Amazon and or eBay. They are so cheap. So you clean as well with the alcohol the VRAM chips and this one, and then you have to check, make sure the PCB doesn't have any like moisture, because normally the PCB, a GPU, over time, if you use it more often, like you're always playing many hours every single day, it could build up the moisture somewhere, spot in this hot spot area, somewhere here or here. The best thing to clean that up is use the isopropyl alcohol. Remove those moisture and make sure it's gonna be, you dry them up with the air blower before you put it together. So dry up these clean the area. And then see, this is the moisture that I'm talking about here. This is the back part of the PCB. This moisture is from the thermal pads here. So by the way, I'm gonna measure these thermal pads here, the thickness. This is from the back of the back plates, so you don't need to replace that one because that will last for very long time. Thermal pads, the thick thermal pads will last for a very long time. And the thermal pads here at the back of the back plate that goes here at the back of the PCB is not as important as the thermal pads that goes to the VRMs and the VRAM, because they are the one who is very hot when you play games. This is the area here, this is the hot spot area. So you don't need to replace the one here at the back of the PCB, but I still have to measure that one so that you will know. So looks like is 3mm. 3mm, so thick. See, 3mm. So I don't need to remove this. I just leave that one as it is, or all I'm going to do is just to clean them up. So the heatsink, to clean the heatsink and the PCB, always use a brush, any brush like a paintbrush. This is a paintbrush, and I use, and the air blower that I'm using is this one, the Makita. The Makita is a, what do you call it, DAS 180. The Makita DAS 180, which is battery powered LXT 18 volts, is really handy, very powerful one. And if you want a even more powerful, I've got a recommendation here. It's called the X Power, which is powered by a AC power to the wall outlet. This is 550 watt. This is way powerful compared to this one, but this one, the wireless one, is more than enough to clean the computer, desktop, laptop, or any graphics card. So this is what I used before. I'm still using this one now. It's so powerful, and it has an extra attachment. If you are interested for this, link in the description down below. You can use this one to dry up your car as well. And then use the brush. So you have to brush first before you use the air blower. Make sure there's no dust here in between. If you notice one of the fins is bent, you have to use a tweezer or a metal tweezer. A metal tweezer like this. So make sure you have one of these, and then you can just do like that. Make sure you have the gap of the fins of the heatsink is very important, that it has an even gap in between. So there's no dust on this GPU. It's so clean. And then make sure the PCB as well, you have to clean them up. And blow with the air blower, especially in this area here, this corner here, and also clean all these connector. Did you see that? It looks like dry, but when you blow an air blower, all those alcohol that hiding somewhere underneath in the corner here, they all blown out, they come out. So it's very important that you use an air blower to make sure everything is dry before you put it together. by the way, the backplate is made of metal, so yeah, obviously it's a metal, because you cannot use a thermal pads stick to the backplate to the PCB if it is plastic. So yeah, this serves as a heat sink as well, to dissipate the heat at the back of this PCB, so it's really good. There's a lot of GPU which is made of plastic, the backplate, so that's not very good. This metal is really good. So just to brush them. Okay, and now it's time to clean the fans. Okay, so to clean the fans, make sure you brush here underneath of the fans, because when you put it back, you cannot clean the back area of the fan anymore unless you have like a cotton buds. You have to do it one by one, so it's more easier to do this time. But this one is already clean, it's not very dusty. Yeah, it's very important to change the thermal pads and repaste the thermal paste your GPU maybe every 4 months or 6 months, once in 6 months. It depends on how heavy you use your graphics card. Like if you play every single day, so you have to change the thermal pads maybe every once in 6 months. I recommend once in 6 months. And always use really good quality thermal pads and thermal paste. Like the GELID is really good quality, and there are some brand as well which is really good, like Arctic, Noctoa. But I recommend the GELID because it's been proven to me that they are really good one. I've used GELID for a few years now. I know some people find it very expensive, thermal pads, but they are very good quality. So we're gonna use the air blower for this. So the thermal paste and the thermal pads that I'm going to use for this video is provided from GELID Solutions. So I got few different sizes here. This one is a really good quality, the GP Ultimate, and also they have a different kind of variants, the GP Extreme or something. Yeah, this one I have the different sizes: 0.5, 3mm, 1.5, 2mm, and 1mm. Oh no, I think I don't have any 2.5. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I don't have any 2.5, so I'm gonna use the stock one. I'm gonna return that stock one because it's still really good quality condition. So I'm gonna put back this stock from the factory for the VRAM, because that is still this two is still very good condition thermal pad, so I don't need to replace that one because I don't have available for 2.5, so I need to order that one for the next time. But what I'm going to replace is the one which is the 1mm that goes to this area here, the VRM. So because I got 1mm here, that's a shame I don't have 2.5. And the thermal paste that I'm going to use is also from GELID, which is the GC4. This one is a really good one, and also they provide me a heat faces, so I'm going to use this one on my desktop maybe soon. I don't recommend this one to use the heat faces for the die for the graphics card. Maybe you can, but this one is designed for the CPU or the processor. So this one is for the Intel and this one for the AMD. So I'm going to test this one, if compare for the thermal paste which one is better. Right, for now I'm going to cut a 1mm for this one here, because this one needs this one to be covered as well. The small one, the VRMs and these small chips here, the what do you call it? I forgot the name of that one. So it needs to be covered as well. So it needs to be bigger. So normally thermal pads has protector on both sides, so don't forget to peel that off before you put it back, all the components. So peel one side and put it in place. It's quite long, doesn't matter. The longer the better. So put it in place and then peel it. The top cover. Make sure, don't forget to peel it out, otherwise your graphics card will thermal throttle. It will not gonna dissipate the heat because there's a plastic at the top. So that is the 1mm, and the 2.5 for the VRAM I have to put it back from the, this is from the factory. So when you put the thermal pads, don't put it in the heatsink, just put it here on the chips itself, so make sure it's covered. So this one here, that's a good cover. So now it's time for the thermal paste. So GC4 from GELID. So don't put too much of the that should be enough. And then use the spreader included with the thermal paste. There's a lot of videos in the YouTube. They just put like the one drop a thermal paste in the middle and then squeeze it. I don't recommend that way of doing it because it's not guaranteed that it will spread evenly to the whole of the GPU die, because it depends on how you put it in place. If it's not pressed evenly, the paste will just go to the one side and the other side is not covered with thermal paste. But by doing like this, you can make sure the paste is evenly spread in the die. I think I put too much, but it doesn't matter. That's it. And now, so make sure you have everything, you put all the pads in place and then check. Okay, it's time to put it back together. So to put it back together, make sure to these 4 mounting points, this is the most important one, that make sure it's perfectly aligned to the holes. And then by doing that, make sure it's evenly pressed, and so that thermal paste will be evenly spread to the whole die. So you can see it here from this hole, the outer one. You can see this one here, the screw mounting points. So just check here on the side to lift up the heatsink. That's it. It's perfectly set. If you can see, it's perfectly set now. So now it's time to do the bracket. So the seal goes here in this area. So by screwing the GPU die, always remember to do it gradually in a crisscross pattern. So don't use the electric one, just do it manually. 1 turn or 2 turns, so maybe you can just use 1. So make sure it's tight, but don't over tighten it. It could damage the screw and the PCB. Just a snug fit. You can feel it. Okay, so next is the front shroud, the connector for the fan and the lights. So you have to connect that one first. So this goes here in this front. So what you're gonna do is to connect this one first. So just push it in. So if you can hear the click, so that's fine. Okay, so Make sure all the mounting points for the screw will be aligned perfectly. So that goes there. And this one here. Make sure to check all the mounting points. So you have to align perfectly before you place the backplate. So the first screw that you're going to do is the screw here on the side, the 2 screw here on the side, the thick screw, so that it will hold. Okay, so you check all the mounting points again to make sure they are aligned before you put in the backplate. It's perfect. This one here, the knob for the performance mode and the quiet mode is here, so that goes in there. So make sure the thermal pads is in place in correct position. So this unique screw, there's 2 unique screw that will goes here. Okay, so it's time for the 5 screw. The best way to do it is to, after you screw in the first screw here, you have to screw the other end. This one here is the next one, and make sure you check all the holes if it is still in place. So the last screw. Right, so you have to check, so you have to tighten them manually. Don't over tighten it, just snug. And the side. So all the screw has been screwed in, so it's time to check everything. Make sure everything is in place, and don't forget to check the spin of the fans. Make sure it doesn't catches anything. Looks good. And check all the screw area. Make sure nothing is missing. Looks okay. So that's it, it's all done. So that's the end of the tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing. That's a big help for this channel grow, and I can carry on making more tutorial videos like this one. Share and click that thumbs up icon. Thank you so much for watching.